I wasn't going to do this video because I know Merbeast was going to review Kate Peters' opposition to Chile's second motion for contempt. However, you took an hour and a half going through the motion, plus Chile has filed a motion to strike, which I will include in this video. But I won't dictate the whole of Kate's motion. You can read it at your leisure with the accompanying music. Now, the exhibit has a small font, so I will read it. So this is an email from Chile to Kate. This is an information request. Additionally, this is an attempt to enter mediation and end this war. Kate, let me be clear. My cousin, who is also a legal scholar, reached out to you in an attempt to amicably resolve the stalking and firing that you caused by stalking me and my friend through your Discord account, cause serious financial and emotional damages to Mr. Zane Kane. The information request is that you reveal who the stalkers are so that we can pursue them and not you. Kate, every bad person you host will be pursued and dealt with through the court. Mrs. Peter, should you choose to ignore, deflect or rationalise away this simple information request, it is 100% that you will face a lawsuit this week. To be honest, after I learned of the horrible things that you have been doing to people for years and years, your constantly unfair and often unscrupulous dealings with the people, I have decided that your misdeeds are worthy of my attention. Therefore, you can and you will reveal to me and my team who stalked Zane at his job in New Hampshire, or I will I already have organised and fund the Arizona lawsuit against you. You have led a poor life and you have hurt many people whom I have spoken with. Regarding your lifetime pattern of unscrupulous behaviour, it must end and you must change. We know that change is a slow and difficult process. Therefore, because you exemplify an obtuse and reprehensible life, you must be dealt with through the court system. Therefore, I give you my solemn promise, I will see this through to the very end. You cannot fathom my resolve. We are requesting the names of the people who went to Zane's employer's home in New Hampshire. You have until Monday morning to reveal them, or there will be another lawsuit filed against you. Reveal your trolls or face legal action. This is not a drill, and the clock is ticking. Regards, Jose de Castro. P.S. This is a first shoe. Another shoe will drop midweek. I wish you luck, but you wouldn't know what to do with it. You wanted my attention. You got it. Then this is Kate's response. Nobody did anything to Zane Kane. I understand that they fabricated evidence of a made-up incident. This has already been ruled on in New Hampshire as well as Massachusetts and Arizona. Can't say Massachusetts. Has no jurisdiction over me. Sorry, I messed that up. Don't contact me again. And there is then Chile's reply. Kate, just to clarify, nobody did anything to Zane Kane. I understand that they fabricated evidence of a made-up incident. This has already been ruled on in New Hampshire, as well as Massachusetts, and Arizona has no jurisdiction over me. So he quoted Kate there. Let me help you out with your reply to my cousin and pray you will enter mediation. 1. Yes, you did a lot to Zane. You doxed his residence in MA, NH and AZ. 2. Nothing has been ruled on because the issue has not been properly litigated. You will not get a Massachusetts RO hearing to stop our lawsuit out of AZ. You, your AZ lawyer, can submit the Mass RO hearing to the AZ courts. However, the court will not dismiss the lawsuit based on RO hearing out of Mass. 3. AZ does have jurisdiction. Because you dox Zane's AZ's car and father's home address, we have jurisdiction, and we file in the morning. 4. You will have to hire an AZ law firm, so start looking now. I'd like to avoid paying the $402 tomorrow to see you out with AZ and Callie, $804 for both. However, should you choose to ignore this prayer for mediation, I'll file versus you in both states on Monday and Tuesday. This is not a game to me. You have affected the rest of my life in a negative way. I will not tolerate it, and I'll throw my entire being into getting justice for the unscrupulous person you are. You can change, and I know you will. However, I'm not waiting for that to happen. You will stipulate, or we will continue in court in these 3 states. And I give you my promise to that. Additionally, Kate, I hear you are at $60,000 in legal bills from your criminal case and my federal tort lawsuit. Imagine how much that grows when you have two new lawsuits. You messed with a legal scholar who has tons of legal help. I'd rather stop this and move forward with my life, and you can move forward with yours. Zane will file versus you in AZ, and I'll file another one versus you in California this week. You don't get away with lying and defaming me. Nope, no, you do not. Maybe you are enjoying raising money from other people and that gives you the limelight. I don't understand, to be honest. I'm trying to end this through strength and mediation. I'm waiting to stop now and begin mediation. I'd like to move on with my mission, and you can move on to being a better mother to the kids you have left in your home. I can promise you this, my cousin will help Zane all the way through. I'll move on with what I'm doing next, and Matty will help Zane until you have to pay up for doxing him, stalking him, and ultimately costing him his job. You have until tomorrow morning to agree to enter into mediation. I'll work with you on Zane's behalf and my own personal interest to stop all lawsuits and move into a peaceful and meaningful mediation. My stipulations are clear. Remove all the videos and my like list from your page. IDGAF, you apologise or not, so we can skip that. Lastly, enter into private mediation that is not publicised by either of us to compensate me and to compensate Sayner for you and your troll farm costing him his job. I give you my word I will not publish or talk about this communication publicly to enter into mediation and settle this out. Unless you do, I promise you on my life, I just want to end this and move on with my life, and you can do the same. Regards, Jose de Castro. And the exhibit cut off there. And the second exhibit, which I won't read. And finally, we're on to Chile's motion to strike, which was filed, well, I got the notification early this morning. Motion to strike defending Catherine Peters' late opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt. Plaintiff Jose de Castro, plaintiff or I, hereby objects and moves this court to strike defendant Catherine Peters' late opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt opposition at ECF number 109. In support of this response, plaintiff submits a memorandum of law which is fully incorporated herein. Background. On January 16, 2023, Jose de Castro filed plaintiff's second motion for contempt at ECF number 103, asking for the court to bring judicial notice to this court of additional contempt by Peter. The motion was immediately served by the ECF system to Peter. Pursuant to Local Rule 7.1(b)(2), Peter's opposition was due by January 30th, 2023, within 14 days after the motion is served. However, Peter filed the opposition on February 2nd, 2023, CECF number 109, multiple days late. Points and authorities. A. Peter's opposition was late. Speech marks. A party opposing a motion shall file an opposition within 14 days after the motion is served. The 14-day period is intended to include the period specified by the civil rules for mailing time and provide for a uniform period regardless of the use of mails. Local Rule 7.1(b)(2), emphasis added. Here, the last day within 14 days after the motion was served was January 30, 2023. Peter filed the motion on February 2nd, 2023. Thus, Peter did not file the opposition within the permitted period. B. Rule 6(b) requires striking of the opposition. Rule 6(b)(1)(b) of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedures states, where an act may or must be done within a specified time, the court may, for good cause, extend the time. B. On motion made after the time was expired, if party failed to act because of excusable neglect. Federal Rule Civil Procedures 6(b)(1)(b). A district court may not consider a late filed response that falls short of the requirements of Rule 6(b) of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And there's a case reference. C. Peter has not moved for a retroactive extension. In conformance with the plain language of Rule 6(b)(1)(b), a court can grant a retroactive extension of time only upon a motion, and there's another court case quoted, and a second court case. In the absence of any motion for an extension, the trial court has no basis on which to exercise its discretion. Here, Peter has not moved for a retroactive extension of time to file the opposition. Incredibly, Peter does not even acknowledge that Peter tardily filed the opposition. Therefore, the opposition ought to be stricken. C. Peter has not shown excusable neglect. What constitutes excusable neglect is nebulous, but excusable neglect does not include ignorance of the rules or mistakes construing the rules. Another court case quoted, and a second court case quoted. Here, Peter does not admit that it untimely filed the opposition, let alone offer an excuse. Thus, Peter has not shown excusable neglect. Rather, it seems that Peter simply forgot to file the opposition on time. Peter's belated opposition comes hours after Catherine Peter read in Discord about people pontificating why the court had not yet ruled on the motion for contempt. The chat on Discord appears to have triggered the belated opposition because Peter filed the opposition less than 24 hours after the chat. There are legions of cases finding no excusable neglect under similar circumstances. Another case cited. Conclusion. For the following reasons, Jose de Castro requests the court to strike Peter's opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt, ECF number 109. Additionally, if the opposition is not stricken, plaintiff asks for leave to file a reply to the opposition with documentary evidence, as the opposition appears to be full of perjured statements again. And of course, we have the final certification signed by Jose de Castro this time. Thanks for watching.